What's up, everyone? James Lynch here for Odds Checker US, taking a look at Saturday's UFC 269 pay-per-view. And just keep in mind, this card is going to be starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time for the pay-per-view. The prelims starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific. So just keep that in mind if you're looking to watch this card. Let's start on the main card. We got Sean O'Malley taking on Rulin Paiva, and Sean O'Malley, a big favorite here at minus 310. The comeback on Paiva plus 250. 27 years old compared to 26, so around the same age. But the big difference here is the height and reach for O'Malley. He's 5'11", just 5'8", with a 69.5 inch reach for Paiva. And Paiva, if you remember, used to fight at flyweight. He's now moved up to bantamweight. O'Malley's been a mainstay bantamweight, so that's why he's the favorite here. And just the fact that O'Malley's one of the most popular fighters on the UFC roster also gives him the edge there as well. So really interesting fight. If you like O'Malley, maybe you look at some props just to get some better value here, because minus 310 a little steep, although you could put him in a parlay too if you're very confident in O'Malley. Next fight we're going to look at is Kai Kara-France taking on Cody Garbrandt. Garbrandt, the former bantamweight champion, making his flyweight debut, and he is the favorite right now at minus 175. The comeback on France is plus 150. Close to the same age. France about 2 years younger here. Even height and reach wise, Garbrandt just a little bit bigger here. He is 5'8" in height, 5'4" for France, but the reach pretty similar here. It's actually France with the reach advantage of 66.5 compared to 65.5 with Cody Garbrandt, as I'm choking here. Really interesting fight. If Garbrandt wins this, he's probably going to get a title shot. They really like him. You know, the UFC does. And France is a teammate of Israel Adesanya's over at City Kickboxing. Has knockout power. Should be a great slugfest and potentially a fight of the night here on the pay-per-view. Next fight we're going to look at is Jeff Neal and Santiago Ponzinibio. Neal and Ponzinibio dead even at minus 110 apiece. Kind of similar fighters that had some success in the division, but have taken some key losses as well. In the case of Jeff Neal, he's coming off 2 straight losses to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Neil Magny. 31 years old for Neal, 35 years old for Ponzinibio, 5'11" to 6 feet tall, 75 to 73. So even physically pretty similar, a little bit older here for Ponzinibio. But keep in mind, Jeff Neal got arrested for a DUI about 2 weeks ago. So I'm assuming this fight's still going to happen, but if it isn't, you'll know why. And also you do wonder where Jeff Neal's state is right now, the fact that he was caught doing that a couple weeks before the fight. So that could be interesting with the matchup. Ponzinibio rebounded from his loss to Li Jingliang, where he was finishing the first round by picking up a pretty good win over Miguel Beza. So can he keep it going with 2 in a row here? We'll see on Saturday night. The co-main event has Amanda Nunes defending her bantamweight title against Juliana Pena, and wouldn't you look at it there, Amanda Nunes, the biggest favorite on the card at minus 800. The comeback on Juliana Pena plus 550. Similar in age, Nunes just a year older, 5'8" compared to 5'6", 69 inch reach for Amanda Nunes, and same reach is for Juliana Pena. The reason she's such a big favorite is Amanda Nunes has not lost in a very long time. She's been dominant in a lot of those wins, although it should be pointed out she's making her first fight back at 135 since 2019. So we'll see if she can make the weight. She's always made weight, but still I know it's a tough cut for her. And if you look at it there, hasn't lost since 2014. Some really good wins in between here. Shevchenko, Tate, Rousey, Shevchenko again, Duran Durandamy. Finished Megan Anderson in short work at featherweight earlier this year. So she's on a roll. And Pena got this title shot because she got a submission victory over Sarah McMahon in her last fight. Did lose to a common opponent that Nunes has already beat twice, and Germaine. So that's something to keep in mind when you're looking at this fight in terms of common opponents. But yeah, Nunes a big favorite for a reason, like I just mentioned. Okay, main event. Kind of interesting here. Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier. It's actually the champion, Charles Oliveira, the underdog here at plus 135. Dustin Poirier, the favorite at minus 165. Pretty similar again, 32 apiece. They're both 32 years old, 5'10" to 5'9", 74 to 73. Now, Oliveira won the title by defeating Michael Chandler in his last fight, in a fight where he had to overcome some adversity. He was hurt pretty bad in that first round, ended up coming back and getting the finish on Chandler in just 19 seconds into the second round. So he's looking to continue his momentum. And just like we mentioned with the last fight, his last loss was back in 2017. Oliveira on a very nice winning streak here. Now, Poirier has the 2 wins over Conor McGregor, so that's obviously getting him this shot. He has a win over Dan Hooker too, just the 1 loss to Khabib back in 2019. But outside of that, he's looked pretty good since moving up to lightweight a few years ago. Should be an interesting fight, and I will be giving my pick in that fight in the next video here. So make sure you keep your eye out for my main event pick of this fight between Charles Oliveira and Dustin Poirier. So I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. What are some of your picks for this pay-per-view? Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Lynch on Sports, and make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel at Odds Checker US, where you will get my breakdowns every single week along with my fighter interviews. I'm James Lynch. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.